I just can't believe what's happening with our Bears during this bye week. While y'all probably thought we were about to catch a breather, the front office is out here working on moves that could totally flip the script for this season and the future of the franchise. First up, we've got some bombshell news about potential trades that would make Ben Johnson's offense absolutely unstoppable. And let me tell you, there are elite running backs out there right now who would be a perfect fit in Chicago's scheme and could turn this offense into something we haven't seen since the days of Walter Payton. Second, management just dropped some images that are gonna knock your socks off. The future home for our Bears finally has a face. And believe me, it's way more epic than anyone ever imagined. Loaded with features that are gonna change what the NFL experience even means. And third, one of our defensive captains is stepping up and taking total ownership of the biggest problem in our run defense. And this leadership mentality is just what we need to get back to being the monsters of the Midway. Smash that like right now if you want to see Chicago pull off some historic moves before the trade deadline, and subscribe, because what's coming next is gonna change everything you thought you knew about these Bears. Chicago, listen up, cause this is what we've been waiting years for. While most teams just sit back and settle for mediocrity, doing the same old thing, Ryan Poles is staring at a golden opportunity to make moves that don't just make us better this year, but could turn these Bears into real contenders for the next 5 years. And you know the wildest part? There are teams sitting at 0-4, basically in fire sale mode, giving away talent that would normally cost a boatload of first-round picks. After years of this organization playing it safe and coming up short when it mattered most, we've finally got a GM that knows if you want to compete in the NFC, you've got to be aggressive. Remember when we passed on Adree Hopkins? When we didn't go after Von Miller? Let me tell you, those days are done with Poles at the wheel. Here's where it gets good. Alvin Kamara from the Saints is exactly the kind of weapon Ben Johnson's been dying for to take this offense to another galaxy. Did you see what D'Andre Swift was doing these last 4 weeks? Swift's been solid, don't get me wrong. But now imagine rolling that explosiveness into a back with elite vision, who can tear up defenses inside or outside the tackles. Kamara isn't just a home run hitter, this guy can do it all. But do you see what it would mean to have Kamara in this system? I truly believe it'd be the smartest move this organization's pulled since the Khalil Mack trade in 2018. Kamara's got over 6,000 career rushing yards, more than 3,500 receiving yards, and 65 total touchdowns. In Ben Johnson's system, where creativity in the backfield is everything, Kamara would be absolutely vicious. And here's the real kicker, the money makes this a total steal. He'd cost just $3 million this year and $11 million next. And if we cut Swift after the season, we'd save $8.5 million on the cap. Do you realize what this means? We could upgrade the position and basically spend the same amount. But you think Poles is just gonna stop there? No way. We've also got Breece Hall from the Jets, yeah. Those same 0-4 Jets crashing and burning while Aaron Rodgers torches the place from inside. Hall's in his last year on the rookie deal, and I think Aaron Glenn, our old defensive coordinator now in New York, could totally hook this up as a favor to the city that built him. And remember what Hall said back in June about a contract extension. I wasn't picked by them. I'm not their guy. DA Bears. That screams buy low opportunity. Young, super talented, underestimated by his own front office. Sound familiar? It's exactly the kind of move Poles has been nailing since he got here. Hall's only 23. Already rushed for over 2,100 yards into seasons, even after dealing with injuries. And he's just the kind of game-breaking back who could be the centerpiece for the next decade. In free agency next year, 20 teams are gonna fight for him. Why not lock him up now and work on an extension before the bidding goes nuts? And if Poles wants a super smart financial move without risking the future, Tyler Allgeier from Atlanta is the under-the-radar answer nobody's talking about. Been playing second fiddle behind Bijan Robinson. But check the numbers, 4.1 yards per carry, powerful between the tackles, and a work ethic that is right in line with what Matt Eberflus is building here. Atlanta's not keeping him after this year since they're all in on Robinson, and Cordero Patterson is still productive for them in his role. Why not flip him for a 4th or 5th rounder now? Allgeier would give us the depth we need and wouldn't mess with our cap flexibility the way Swift does, but Chicago ain't stopping there. On defense, after losing Jalen Johnson, and I still can't believe we let him walk to New England for a deal we totally could have matched, we need major help in the secondary. Reek Woolen from Seattle would be perfect for Dennis Allen's scheme and Al Harris's philosophy. Woolen checks every box. 6'4", 205 pounds, 4.26 speed in the 40. And he can play press man like a natural, which our system absolutely needs. Can you picture a secondary with Tyreek Stevenson coming up as CB1, Woolen at CB2, and Kyler Gordon recovering from injury? That's Navy and Orange dominance, baby. Here's what other channels aren't telling you. Woolen's in the last year of his rookie contract. Seattle's got cap issues with all their extensions, and they need to clear space. This is the perfect storm for Poles to pull off another heist. Just like getting DJ Moore basically for nothing. But do you honestly think these trades are gonna just happen on their own? Let me ask you, when was the last time the Bears were this proactive by the deadline? Since we got Mac in 2018. We've just watched while teams like the Rams built Super Bowl winners with bold trades. If that shocks you, wait till you hear this. No way. Did you see what the Bears just dropped? After months of guessing games, political fights with Springfield, and all the drama with Lori Lightfoot and now Brandon Johnson, we finally have a clear picture of the future home for our team out in Arlington Heights. And let me be serious. Were you even ready to see something this insane that's gonna totally change what it means to be a Bears fan? Since they left Wrigley Field in 1970, the Bears haven't had a real home. With all due respect to Soldier Field and the old-timers, that place is just outdated now. Honestly, have you been there lately? Bathrooms are straight out of the 70s. Options at the concessions are a joke. And don't even get me started on the wheelchair access experience. Chicago deserves so much better. Mike Garafolo from NFL Network confirmed that the new renders are an upgrade on the old lakefront concept, but revamped until this stadium is truly one of a kind for the whole NFL. And you know what I love? The organization isn't waiting around for Chicago politicians to change their minds. They're locked in, going full throttle for Arlington Heights. Do you get how huge this is? This isn't just a stadium. It's a full-blown entertainment complex that's gonna bring in jobs, global events, and turn Arlington Heights into the sports capital of the Midwest. We're talking hotels, restaurants, shopping, unique experiences. It's gonna go toe-to-toe with Sophie Stadium in LA. Warren was crystal clear in August. We're focused on Arlington Heights. Only place in Cook County that makes sense, and that's great for fans, because it means we're finally getting a stadium built from the ground up for the Bears experience. Not just some patched-up relic like Soldier Field. I think this is exactly what had to happen. After the whole soap opera with J.B. Pritzker demanding they pay that $84 million debt for breaking the Soldier Field lease, and I get the governor's position. But sometimes you gotta make the tough call for the future. Bears just said, you know what? We're moving on without state backing, but here comes the real bombshell that nobody's talking about. This stadium is gonna totally flip the script in free agency for the Bears. Imagine trying to recruit stars to come play in Chicago when you can offer them the most high-tech, modern NFL facility out there, all the bells and whistles, better than anywhere else in the world. Construction's supposed to break ground spring of 2026, so in under 3 years, we could be watching Caleb Williams, DJ Moore, Romo Duns, and the whole next-gen Bears dropping touchdowns in a palace designed to dominate. Do you realize the psychological impact this'll have on away teams? Here's what gets me pumped all preseason. The organization's been campaigning hard not just for the stadium, but to flip the entire perception of this franchise. We're done settling for good enough. We're a bold organization now, thinking big and executing game-changing plans. You think Arlington Heights officials are just gonna sit back? I'm telling you, they're gonna pull out all the stops to speed this up because they know the massive financial impact this'll bring. We're talking thousands of permanent jobs, property values going up, and becoming the very top destination for big-time sports in Illinois, even though it doesn't look like they're much closer to breaking ground than when the legislative session ended in spring. Having these renders out in the open means they're not playing. This isn't just PR, it's a real plan, with dates, funding, and an organization that's sick of being an afterthought. And do you know what this means for the Packers rivalry? Green Bay's gonna have to come play in a stadium that's gonna make Lambeau Field look like a high school field. After decades of hearing about the magic of Lambeau and the frozen tundra, we're finally gonna have our own intimidation factor, but that's nothing compared to what's next. This is exactly what I love about the kind of leadership we've got in this 2025 roster. Where other organizations make excuses, blame coordinators, individual players, or plain old bad luck, Kevin Byard standing up and taking TOTAL responsibility for the biggest issue. we've had on defense this year. And that, honestly, is the accountability mindset we need to get back to being the monsters of the midway. After years of Bears defenses blaming the weather, the refs, or the offense for not holding time of possession, we finally have a veteran standing up and saying the problem starts with me. And so does the solution. Do you get how powerful that is in a locker room? The numbers don't lie and Byard's not dodging them. No team in the NFL's allowed more rushing yards or more yards per carry than the Chicago Bears in 2025. These stats hurt. 190.8 yards per game and 5.4 per carry. For a franchise that takes pride in its defense, those numbers are just unacceptable. But here's what sets this defense apart from the garbage units we've dealt with in past years. Ben Johnson's got the same mindset as Byard about this problem. And I think this shows absolute synergy between the coaching staff and our vets. Johnson literally said, "Most important thing is limiting the other team's offense and the points they score." And you know what I like about this? It's practical and real. If we're giving up rushing yards, but keeping the points down, forcing turnovers, and winning ball games, we can work with that while fixing up the fundamentals. That's the total opposite of what Mel Tucker used to do, chasing individual stats instead of the team results. But Byard's not pretending this isn't a real issue. When he said, "We're not fitting up the run as well as we have to," he's straight up saying this is bigger than individual mistakes. These are system issues. And you know what that means? This bye week, Dennis Allen and Matt Eberflus are gonna attack this from every angle. I'm telling you, the brutal honesty Byard showed when they asked him about Ashton Jeanty's 6-4 yard run against Vegas is exactly what separates a real leader from just another guy. Byard could have blamed the D-line for not getting a push, linebackers missing gaps, or the scheme putting him in a bad spot. Instead, he said, "I thought I took the best angle possible. I was coming downhill and just flat out didn't see it coming and he just kinda busted out. The dude's got burst, he's got speed. Honestly, I make those Gator tackles every single day. Big props to Ashton Jeanty. He's got elite contact balance, just high-stepped right on out. Normally I make those tackles, so no excuses. Do y'all see the champion mindset that is?" Byard recognizes the opponent's talent, takes full responsibility for his mistake, but still has confidence in his skills. THAT's the type of attitude we need across this whole defense. But here's what's got me worried but fired up at the same time. It wasn't just Jeanty and his 138 yards rushing. Raheem Mostert, dude's 33 and should be on the decline, put up 62 yards on just for carries with a long run of 37. All around, the defense struggled to get the ball carrier down and make the basic tackles. Johnson admitted this in his press conference. Biggest thing we're looking at as coaches and players is how do we improve some of our fundamentals. We're not shedding blocks as well as we want, or at least not as consistently as we want yet. And we're not making open field tackles as well as we can, but you know what gives me hope? During training camp, the Bears had plenty of live tackling days and full pads. Johnson said he thought the team would be further along because of that prep. That tells me the foundation is there, just need to translate practice to games. I think this bye week's gonna be huge for fixing these issues. Tackling and run fits will be top priorities, but they'll also be working on the mental side. You know what the real issue is? Not talent, it's lack of consistency and breakdowns in communication. But do you honestly believe Dennis Allen, who built championship defenses in New Orleans, can't fix run D issues? Allen knows better than anyone that in the NFC North, facing Aaron Jones in Green Bay, Alexander Mattison in Minnesota, David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs in Detroit, you cannot allow 5.4 yards a carry. We'll see how the players bounce back after the bye. But if I've learned anything from watching Bears defenses all these years, it's that when vets like Byard take ownership, the rest of the roster lines up behind them. This might just be the turning point that makes us more than a bend but don't break unit, but a flat-out dominant one. Dominant one. After all these huge headlines that are gonna change our Bears' future, I need to know exactly what you all are thinking about each of these situations. Shaking up this franchise. First, about all these possible trades that could take our offense to the next level. Which one do you think would make the biggest immediate difference for the Bears? Would you rather have proven experience and versatility with Kamara pushing us over the top this season, or the explosive youth and long-term franchise potential of Breece Hall as a true cornerstone for the next 10 years? Second, with this new stadium in Arlington Heights that's poised to change the definition of being a Bears fan, are you all fully on board with this jump into a cutting-edge, incredible future? Or is there a part of you that wants to stay in Soldier Field for the tradition, the history, even if it means settling for old school facilities? And third, on this run defense that Kevin Byard's totally owning, do you believe Byard's accountability mindset and Johnson's technical tweaks are going to be enough to turn our biggest weakness into a strength? Or do we still need to see more moves during the bye week to fix what's really broken? This is exactly why this channel exists, to bring the deepest, rawest, most passionate breakdowns about our Chicago Bears. You're not getting this level of legit insight and true love for the team anywhere else. We're a family here, living and breathing Navy and Orange every single day. And I need you to be part of this crew that's growing and getting stronger every day. If this content has you anywhere near as pumped as I am for the future of our Bears, that subscribe button is waiting for you right now. Hit a like if you think Poles should pull off at least 2 of these trades before the deadline. And please, drop a comment letting me know which of these 3 headlines has you the most excited and optimistic about where this franchise is heading, cause I promise you, we're gonna have even more breaking news and analysis tomorrow. That'll keep you right on the edge of your seat. You cannot afford to miss what's coming for Chicago in these next few weeks that are gonna define our season. Bear down, family. I'll see you in the next video with more breaking news that'll make every one of you proud to bleed Navy and Orange.